Welcome to the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris, happy to be here with you on Labor Day. Yeah, if you're joining me, I'm happy. I try to stick to my promises and make sure that the show airs, whether somebody here or not, because that's what I'm supposed to do. When you are dedicated to doing a show, it's kind of like being the postman. It doesn't matter the weather, rain, sun, or shine, snow, sleet. You have to show up. You have to do what you're supposed to do. To be honest, by the way, I'm Charles Morris, where we come to you every Monday at 7 p.m. right here at www.thejourney2020.com. We've been around since 2013, so we've been around for a while and been doing this. And we used to start out on a Friday, but we moved the show to a Monday a year or so ago. And my co-host used to be Dr. Robertson, my partner in crime. And so I've been doing the show now, I think, for about a year and a half solo. But we used to do the show, Dr. Robinson and I, and actually it was his idea to do the Journey 2020. I had been working in television and radio and used to do my own TV show and radio and so on and so forth for a period of years and years. Been doing this for a very, very long time, both radio and television, worked in news and so on and so forth. But anyway, the Journey 2020 comes to you every Monday right here at www.thejourney2020.com. As Dr. Robinson would say, the journey is from me to you so we can reach a higher level. And that's what we try to do. So we try to bring you information, a lot of stuff that's fun, exciting, but also informative, but we also hit on the light side as well. Today is Labor Day. I actually just got back from Quincy, Florida. Okay, I've heard of Quincy. I would see the sign that says Quincy as I'm driving on I-10. I'm very familiar with I-10 from the standpoint that my mother and all of her relatives are from a small town called Perry, Florida, which is right before Tallahassee. And so I was used to traveling I-10 back when I was a little kid, when my people would go visit their people from Perry, Florida. And there's still some relatives there in Perry, Florida. But I was just recently, it was funny because I just recently went through Quincy, or passing by Quincy on I-10 about 3 weeks ago, headed to Fort Walton Beach towards Niceville, and was up there doing some work with the Black Caucus. They hired me to come in and take some pictures and videotape a fundraiser. Had a chance to go out and vote. I am an independent, by the way. That's a whole nother story, and if I will have, I would like to do a show and have a discussion would love to have some Democrats and some Republicans on to say why you associated with this party, and I would be happy to discuss my feelings about being an independent. So don't think that I would turn down a Republican gig. If they call me to come videotape one of their conventions or fundraiser, I would be right there with my camera. Now, if it's Trump, I might triple the price, but I'll do the work. Okay? No, seriously, I would. Yeah. But anyway, work is work. Again, I'm Charles Morris, and you can like us on Facebook. You can subscribe to us on YouTube as well. Would love for you to do that. Please do. And also want to remind you that we come your way every Wednesday at 11 p.m. That is Youth Central Sports with the one, the true, the original Coach Carter. So we talk sports. We give our little feedback on some things. I guess because the whole thing behind Youth Central Sports, Vince is very much into coaching basketball, mentoring. We both are into mentoring. We've been doing it for a very long time. He has a son that has been in the NBA going on like 20 plus years. I played college basketball. He played college football. I grew up in sports, been a part of sports all my life, but as I grow older and have tried to learn this thing called life the best of my ability, the older I get, the more I realize that God didn't put us here to play sports. Sports is a substitute for our purpose that we use as a means of time and place to do this versus what we really should be doing. But that's my outtake. That's me. So I'm very much into sports. It can be used in a very positive way in so many ways, but yet I think it is also used in our society as a way of us not fulfilling our own purpose. And we use it as a tool to substitute how empty we are in our lives. I honestly, truly believe that. But we have turned it into a multi-billion-dollar industry that it affects lives in so many ways, good and bad. So in the midst of it all, it can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. So I like to hit it on those points. Vince will probably speak from the standpoint of the typical sports fan, which is great because, again, I love sports, I get it. But when I speak of sports, I look at it and I truly think it is part of us and our dysfunction. You know, we can be excellent in it. We can be great in it. And we can talk about Hall of Fame and all that other stuff, but that's another show. But anyway, Youth Central Sports at www.youthcentralsports.com, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. And Vince is in Tennessee via internet. He does his show with me every Wednesday. So please tune in Wednesday and join us. You can text us your questions and comment. You can email us, all of that. We can get that information to you. But at 11 p.m. on Wednesday, Youth Central Sports. Now, also, the third Monday of every month, we have Kathy Meeks, Dr. Kathy Meeks. And the third Monday is that we talk about, she's a sex therapist. And so that's always a fun topic. That kind of speaks for itself, right? And recently she had what they call love and relationship workshop. Very successful. A lot of good feedback, great feedback from the workshop. And there's going to be a part 2 of the workshop. But Kathy will talk in the terms of why she think the workshop that she wants to do once a month, or why she thinks the show is important. Would love to hear your feedback if you have any questions, but it's to help us with something that is so simple but seems to be so complex. So that's the third Monday of every month, right here on The Journey 2020, right here, www.thejourney2020.com. Now, the fourth Monday, Haki Nkrumah will be here. Haki will talk about custody, child support, the ins, the outs, the laws, arbitration, all this stuff that we get caught up in the court system. You end up spending a lot of money. You end up becoming extremely frustrated, and you shouldn't. But that's just part of the system. So we're here to help you in the system, to help you understand the system. And so a lot of us, when it comes to parenting and custody and children and all those things that play a part in it, because you don't know your rights, then you play favoritism towards the system. You become victims of the system, and the system love that. So to help you, let me say that, to help you, because we're not talking about anything but just what's right. So if you go in with knowledge, which is the key, through all of what's going to be frustrating anyway, it's going to be frustrating because a lot of times it has to do with somebody not getting along with somebody. That's usually how you end up there. So through all of the emotions running high, through all of that they think of you, and all of that you think of them, which could be something extremely negative, what we try to talk about is the importance of the child to get past yourself, to all the issues and all that other stuff that comes in the room that has nothing to do with but your stuff. So the child is which is the most important part of that whole thing. And it's very hard for a lot of us to understand that, but reality sets in and a lot of things take place that don't have to take place. And sometimes it's a very hard lesson for us to learn through all of our anger, despite the fact that it went from, hey, baby, how you doing? What's your name? To, I can't stand that. You know what? You know, blah, 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 and all the things that has transpired after the encounters of the intimacy. You know what I'm talking about. You know, before it was like, baby, what's up? What's your name? Now the intimacy, the intimacy has taken place. All this other stuff that now has transpired. And then comes a child and so forth and all this other stuff, which is a whole nother show. But the show is about you understanding your rights, learning the laws, the do's, the don'ts, and how you can deal with the child support payment, child visits, visitation, all that stuff. So you can get it right and stop where you can stay out of the court system. Stop giving your money to the lawyers and so on and so forth. So you can see your child, so you can lay your head on your pillow at night and get some peace of mind, to some degree, despite the fact that I just probably should have just kept on walking, man. I just should have kept on walking. Too late. Anyway, I'm Charles Morris. You're watching The Journey 2020, where we come to you right here every Monday at 7 p.m. So on this Labor Day weekend, I cannot go any further. I was going to tell you what today's show is about, but I can't go any further. Today is my brother's birthday. My brother and I, we really don't talk. I won't get into that, but I have to say happy birthday to him. I sent him a text. I do that to all of my siblings. I always send out a shout out and I don't know if they, I think they all know when my birthday is, but I make sure that I say something to them on their birthday. But more importantly, yesterday, September 2nd, is my grandmother's birthday. So on September 2nd, I always go on Facebook and I always give a shout out to this lovely lady who I love and miss more than anything in the world. I miss this woman every day. And it's so funny how life is, because there's not one day that has gone by since 1986 on June 1st, when she passed away, that you don't think of her. I mean, not one day since June 1st, 1986, that you don't think about her. And I miss her every day. And so, happy birthday, grandmother. I love you so much. Can't wait to see you again. I know I'm going to see you again, but the same thing. And I do the same thing when it comes to my mother. My mother's birthday is next month. Okay. Let me see, September, October. Okay, yeah. Next month is October. You have to get the month straight. Not that I don't know when her birthday is. I'm trying to remember. It's October next month. Yeah, we in September. So my sister's birthday is later on. I sent out she passed away too. So I put something out on Facebook on her birthday as well. And I always, on September 2nd, my grandmother was born September 2nd, 2000. Wow, geez, wow. 2000. My grandmother was born, I have to laugh at myself. My grandmother was born September 2nd, 1908, not 2008, 1908. And I don't know. I have to look at I have it in my notes. I have to look at what year that she married my grandfather, because I know anyway, that's not important. But I just wanted to give a shout out. I have to give a shout out. And that's just one of those things where you have to say, grandmother, happy birthday. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Miss you very much. And that's one of those things I would love to do a show And just ask questions about, for someone that you lost that is very close to you. I mean, everybody knows how you feel in a sense, but how do you really feel? It's a crazy question, but it's not, because the inevitable, because you was born to die. You was born to die. It's all going to happen to all of us. But things and circumstances and situations, and I think the most important thing for all of us is closure. And what does that mean? Because some of us don't have it, and some of us find it hard to accept the inevitable. So I would love to do a show on that as well. So that's a show idea. And so if you have any show ideas or anything like that, I'm going to see if I can find the address, because I would love to hear from you. Because, I come up with show ideas all the time and stuff like that, but would love to get feedback from you on what you would like to hear, what you would like to do a show on, or maybe you want to come on the show. You would like to get some feedback from someone that you would like to hear from. But so today's show, by the way, let me see. I briefly talked about Kathy, so let me see, so you guys can get a better idea of what Miss Kathy is talking about. So let's see if this is the right promo. The third Monday of every month.
Hi, my name is Kathy Meeks. I am a marriage and family therapist and a board-certified sex therapist. We will be discussing all things sexual. Whatever relationship issues that you're having, give us a call and we'll be glad to discuss it with you. You can join us the third Monday of every month at www.thejourney2020.com. Like us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube. Remember, 7 p.m. on the third Monday of every month.
All right, that is Dr. Kathy Meeks, as I was saying, the third Monday of every month, where she comes in. It's always a fun show. But anyway, so what is today's show, right? Well, last week we had Keon, who's been on the show quite a few times over the past years, talking about young fathers of Central Florida. Now, originally, I was supposed to do a show, or I wanted to do a show, because I wanted to hear. I called up my uncle, and let me see, how can I say this? I don't want to prolong but I'm trying to say this right. Man, number 45. That's what they call number 45. Was talking about us kneeling. We shouldn't kneel. He was talking about the quarterback, Kaepernick, kneeling for the national anthem. I don't know, I had a brain freeze for a moment, couldn't think of his name. But then when you look at what he did with Russia, and what he did with McCain, and I think it's like you can't even begin to talk about the lack of patriotism and whatever that's, I can't, I won't say, that's another show. But I wanted to do a show, and I had already spoken to quite a few people, like my uncle, who served and retired after 30 plus years. He retired from the Army as a full-fledged colonel. Talked to his wife, who worked at the Pentagon for over 20 plus years. I talked to 4 other veterans on what did you think of the president not wanting to acknowledge McCain for his service. So it's just so asinine. It's just so childish. It's just so silly that I really wanted to hear what veterans, how they felt about it. And that's what I really wanted to do to today's show on. But I probably will do it next week. So anyway, today's show, Hakeem was on the show last week, Nkrumah, Young Fathers of Central Florida, where we went to Quincy, Florida. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we went to Quincy, Florida. And I have a friend who lives close by, and I called wanting to know if she could come and hang out with us so she can learn more about the program herself. But she was headed to North Carolina to see her son, and she doesn't live that far. And so when I said I'm at Quincy, Florida, and I'm not lying, she said this about 9 times. I said, yeah, I'm in Quincy, Florida. She said, you in Quincy, Florida? I said, yeah. And I was trying to say what I was doing there. And she kept saying, you in Quincy, Florida, right? I said, yeah. Quincy, Florida. So basically, there's nothing to do there, from what I understand. But we was there to try to expand Young Fathers of Central Florida with a conference there. And a couple of years ago, someone from there came to Hakeem conference. And so she's trying to bring Young Fathers of Central Florida there because she thinks that it is needed. And one of Hakeem's speakers, who I had heard before, who I connected with, Coach McQueen, Stefan, does a good job in telling his story. So I'm going to let him introduce himself and let you hear his story. And I think that you will enjoy his story. So I wanted him to, he's going to tell his story. And this is him talking to the young fathers or the young men, the young fathers and the young men, Saturday, September 1st, 2018, at the conference in Quincy, Florida. Yes, I was in Quincy. So here is Coach McQueen.
How is everyone? I'm going to ask y'all one more time. How is everybody doing today? Hey, let's wake up. Let's wake up. We're going to give y'all a few handouts before we get started, y'all. But as Ms. Joyce said, I'm Coach Stefan McQueen. I'm here from Raleigh, North Carolina. This is my third time being in the Tallahassee, Quincy area. I actually played football and basketball for UNC Chapel Hill, so we used to play Florida State all the time. So I'm happy to be here in a way, and in a way I'm not, because y'all used to kick my butt all the time. So like I said, I thank y'all for having me. My story is about the Go Hard effect. I'm bringing a story today, and I'm going to be brief. I'm bringing a story today about the Go Hard effect. And as you see, they're handing out some cards at this moment with the Go Hard effect on it. And as I go through my story, you will understand why the Go Hard effect is very important in my life. At 16, my mother had me. At 21, she had my little brother. At 24, she had my second little brother. So I came up on the behalf of a single mother. Like I said, at 16, when she had me, we were living with my grandmother, who was a preacher, evangelist. She was an evangelist for 65 years. And if you know anything about the old Southern Christianity, having a child at 16 was not a good move. So when she had me, my grandmother pretty much kicked my mom out. But to make a long story short, my mother ended up being addicted to drugs. She ended up shooting up heroin, young age. She ended up passing away from HIV/AIDS. I was adopted at 10 years old. I was adopted by one of my coaches. He took me in. He was an athletic coach, of course, like I said, and he taught me a lot about basketball and football. At the time that I met him, I was about 5'6". About 13, I had grew to the height I am now, 6'5". So in the 7th grade, I was 6'5", and living with this individual that really loved sports. So he took the sports and put it in my life really heavy, and he started pushing me to do the athletic thing more than doing a lot of the other things that I was doing in life, as far as the bad things, Mr. Denton. And that took me a long ways in the future. But as I continued, in the 8th grade, he sent me to a private school, a Catholic private school called Cathedral. When I got to Cathedral, I had never been disciplined before. I was used to running the streets. My family is known for slanging drugs, banging. I mean, we did everything wrong that you can name. And I was the first one in the family to get an opportunity to change that. I had to change the curse that was going on within my family. So when he put me in that Catholic school in the 8th grade, like I said, I had never been disciplined before. And also, I was on a 3rd grade reading level because the environment that I was in, reading wasn't important. And that's why when I first came in talking to the young men, they told me they played sports, and the first thing I asked them, how were their grades? Because, of course, the two have to work together, and that's just a little punch for you young fellas. But after I got in the 8th grade, once I finished that school, I ended up going to one of the most prestigious private schools in Wake County, which is in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's called Ravenscroft High School. It costs about $25,000 a year to go. I was blessed to be 6'5", at the time 210, All-American in 2 sports. #1 8th grader coming into high school in the state in football and basketball. So I was blessed to go into this school, which was high in academics, high in character, everything about the school is just top level. And coming from where I came from, it was awesome to get that opportunity because I had a lot of bad things going on inside. Not physical, but mental. A lot of mental stuff. My mom taught me that you have to be tough. You got to be, like you my son, that you're like just to be honest with some of y'all, you're like my boyfriend/son. I need you to do this, this, and this on this end, and then I need you to do some things that my boyfriend should be doing on this end. So at a young age, I was doing a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have been doing. I mean, when I say a lot of stuff, I really shouldn't have been doing. And when I got a little older and I became, this super athlete, there was a lot of those old things that were hindering me from going to the next level. And a lot of coaches in my 9th grade year, they didn't want to work with me because my attitude was so terrible. It was terrible. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. I had this phobia with men because I never was raised by a man. So anytime a man would say something to me, I'd go off. I'm talking about go off. And a lot of you young men, some of you young men, y'all might understand what I'm talking about because some of you might go through the same thing now. But it wasn't good for me, and it wasn't good for what God was taking in my life, okay? So at the end of the day, I had to change those things. And yes, everybody at my school, they didn't particularly look the way I look. They didn't dress the way I dress. They didn't talk the way I talk. As y'all see now, I graduated from UNC Chapel Hill, nice degree. But I don't talk all the time like I'm some politically correct individual. I just keep it real, and I try to just be honest with people, and I try to connect with your heart. Because at the end of the day, that's what I know is going to help save a lot of individuals. And yes, I'm not here speaking on a father's situation. I'm speaking on a life situation, especially for some of you young people that think that you can't do certain obstacles or reach certain goals. That's really, and I'm not getting off the story, but that's really what this Go Hard effect is about. But getting back to the story, 9th grade, I ended up playing football and basketball at this prestigious high school. I became a 4.0 student. My 3rd grade reading level jumped up to a 10th grade reading level, so now I'm not below, but I'm above my average. I'm above my class averages now, so I'm doing well. And this football and the basketball really took off. I mean, when I say it really took off, I was surprised. I ended up getting 30 offers as a freshman in high school, 30 Division I offers between basketball and football. So now at this point, my adopted parent, he's not worrying about me physically again, he's still worrying about my mental. Because I'm still fussing out teachers and doing all kind of stuff. And it's worse now because they have let me know that I'm special. And that's one thing I want y'all young fellas to understand. Don't manipulate situations because you feel you are entitled. Don't do that. But I'm going to stay on my story. I need to talk with the young fellas about themselves. But the one thing that really pushed me forward throughout this whole situation was, you know, my grandmother actually being disabled. She had diabetes, and she was the young lady that raised me throughout this whole, pretty much through the whole situation, because I told y'all how my mother's situation was. So she was there for everything. I mean, like a lot of grandmas are today, she was there for everything. And when she told me, she said, "Grandson, I want to see you do something that no other man in our family has done." That changed my whole life. I mean, people think it takes a miraculous, like, miracle for you to change your life. Sometimes it can be something just as simple as the person that you really care for telling you, look, especially if you have respect and you have, like, integrity in your heart where you want to do right. It just took that one little switch to say, look, I just need you to do the right thing. I have 5 sons, and 3 of them been to prison, and 2 of them, one is pretty much deceased, and then I got one that's just kind of floating. And you, my grandchild, that I just look at like my son. And I feel like you, my son, that can take us to the next level. And that day, about 10th grade, it just kind of, I hit a switch. And a lot of things just changed, man. I just started really stopped thinking about myself, and I started thinking about others. And I think that's when I became the guy that wanted to start even speaking to other communities and other people, because I just realized that without the family and the people that were taking care of me or helping me, I would have never made it. You understand what I'm saying? And I thank God for those situations, for one. And as I'm speaking, just understand that I'm a very passionate and emotional young man. Just because I'm 6'5" up here, I try to tell people this really clearly. Don't think that I'm like some strong, like I said, heroic guy that's trying to save the world. What I'm trying to do is, I'm just trying to share my message with the world, because a lot of kids and young men are going through what I've been through. You know, I noticed just a second ago, a lot of kids, they love those phones, Fortnite, and I know I'm kind of off the subject right now, and that's how I do when I speak, but Fortnite and video games, and you know, I asked the kids earlier, I said, y'all play sports? They said, yes, sir. I said, what do you play? Basketball, football? And then I'm looking, and I'm just like, okay, what do you do to be good at what you say you play? And it's getting back to the phones, because I tell my kids all the time, why are y'all always playing with those phones when you need to be taking that time and doing it, and like actually doing whatever it is you say you want to be great at? Okay? Why are you playing with those phones all the time? Why are you playing with those computers all the time? Why are you always watching TV, Netflix? You have to physically put work into whatever it is that you want. And that's what the go hard effect is really about at the end of the day. It's like, if you want something, and that's what I'm getting at throughout my story, if you really want something, you have to go out and figure out a plan to how you're going to go get it. Fortnite not going to get you there. Staying up all night, not going to get you there. Having the wrong team, not going to get you there. And I'm really pinpointing you young men for some reason, because that's really my field. You young fellas. Like I work with 70 young fellas every day in Raleigh, North Carolina. Every day. Every day. And they come from environments that are not good. Just like myself. So when I look at some of y'all, I'm looking at you like my man in the black. I'm looking at you because you actually paying attention. You're actually looking me in my eyes. It's like you almost looking through me. And when I see that, I know that there's an opportunity to reach you. If I don't reach nobody else, that's what I look for when I speak. I look for the one person that I feel is really engaged and really wants something. And that's how you look, little bro. You remind me of myself when I used to sit in some of these conferences. I wanted something so bad, but I just didn't know how to get there. You know what I'm saying? I wanted it bad, bro. I wanted it bad. But because my mom was shooting up heroin and she was, I'm gonna be honest, my mom was prostituting. I seen a lot. Being honest, this is no lie. Because she was doing those things, I didn't have time to be a kid. Because I told you I had 2 other little brothers. I loved sports when I lived with her. Loved it. But because of what she was doing, I had to grow up really quick. I was the babysitter. I snuck me and my brothers to the next door neighbor when DSS came. Y'all know what DSS is, right, young fellas? Yeah. It's like the Department of Social Services, and it's like the people that sometimes when your parents not doing right, they can come and take you away. You know what I'm saying? So they would come to my house as a 9-year-old. I would grab my little brothers and I ran out the back door to the neighbors until they leave. But I love sports though, young fella. Do you think I would have rather been running out the door or playing basketball with my friends down the street? What you think, young fella? Playing basketball, right? You can speak. Ain't nothing wrong with speaking, bro. Because if you go be a star one day, you gotta speak. You know what I'm saying? So you can go and start speaking now. Nobody's here to look at you a certain way. But at the end of the day, that's what I wanted to do, but I couldn't, dealing with my mom's situation. And at the time, I didn't understand. She was stressed out and depressed and all kind of different things that as a youngster, that I didn't understand. And there might be some things going on in y'all life that you don't understand. You might not understand it, but you're just asking somebody to figure out a way to help me out, to get me out of this. And if you have these brothers here helping y'all, that's what I was talking about earlier, don't manipulate them. Don't manipulate them. If they really helping you, take advantage of it the right way. If they say, look, I got a special program, I'm pretty sure y'all not the only young men they asked to come to this program, but y'all showed up. That says something in itself. I'm scratching all what I had in my thought process and what I wrote down. This is just off the cuff now. Because that's really how I am, bro. I like to be, I'm a feeling person. And what I feel, young fella, especially you in the black, I feel like this could be a life-changing situation for you if you use it right. Because I can see the different smarts in you. I don't even know you, but I can see it. You probably got a little street smart, probably got a little school smart, probably athletic. But then there's some other things that I can't see with the naked eye that only you can change so you can be great. Feel what I'm saying? And that's what the Go Hard Effect is about. That's why the Go Hard Effect has those questions. If you read all the quotes on the top of that Go Hard Effect, it's breaking down the whole Go Hard Effect, what it says. Come here, young fella. Come here. Come here. Don't be ashamed. Come on, big dog. You all right? Just gonna ask you a few questions. And you're gonna be all right. You're gonna be just okay. What's your name? Tell everybody your name.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Everybody clap it up for Jeremiah. Okay, Jeremiah, the Go Hard Effect. It says, giving outstanding heart and attitude, real dedication every day, fulfilling family expectations, commitment to teamwork, giving outstanding heart and attitude, real dedication every day for, I'm sorry, y'all. I done messed up. I'm sorry. I'm gonna reread it. giving outstanding heart and attitude, real dedication every day, fulfilling expectations, commitments, and teamwork. Did you understand that? What does that mean to you?
It means going hard, like expressing yourself, trying to get better, trying to become great so you can become successful in life.
Good answer. Clap it up for me. Grandma, how old are you? 14. So you all stand straight. Stand straight. Get the shoulder, stand straight. Yeah, get your head up. Man, this kid got some height on him already. 14. You understand? Man, you got some opportunities out there. And the reason I wanted to bring Jeremiah up because so many young men, they don't understand that greatness is right there. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. It's right there. And all you need is some people like your big brothers. Don't take advantage of them. Work with them, listen to them, and do what they say, and go to the next level. Take yourself to the next level. And that next level could be whatever, but go to the next level. All right? Give me the next young man. Come on, young man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Clap it up for Jeremiah. Yes, sir. Let's go, Smiley. Tell me your name, Smiley.
Ezra again.
Say that again.
Ezra again.
Ezra again. Clap it up for Ezra. So I'm going to ask you a question. What makes you go hard?
My family, my dedication to what I'm doing.
He said his family and the dedication to what he's doing at that moment. So, clap it up, yes. And I'm going to ask you one more question. Who do you feel like you need to go hard for outside of your family?
My community and the people I'm around most of the time.
And who else?
God.
And who else?
Everyone in this room.
And who else?
Everybody on this earth.
You missing? Who else?
Me.
My man. Go ahead, sir. Clap it up, man. Come on, straight A. Yeah. I was listening, big dog. So if you don't make straight A's, your coach is gonna get you. You know what I mean? Tell me your name, young fella.
Tyler Watson.
Tyler Watson. Oh, that was nice. I like that, Tyler. That was nice and strong. All right. So Tyler, in this world, what makes you comfortable? What are you comfortable doing? What are you comfortable when you're dealing in life? What are you comfortable with? What makes you comfortable?
Well, you know, just being around people that I know and people that can encourage me in life.
Okay. Clap it up for me. Who makes you uncomfortable?
Well, mostly negativity in my life. People that bring me down, like bullies sometimes at school, you know, stuff like that.
Good job. Clap it up for me. And see, the thing, I try to tell my story to kids. That's what I speak to normally. I'm at high schools normally speaking to full packed out gymnasiums, detention centers, juvenile court stuff. I'm always in those type of environments. And the reason that I always try to get these kids involved is because you never know what's on their mind. And if you put them in front of the right people and you let them speak and you let them tell you what's going on, sometimes you can get an answer that you've been working. Coach, you probably worked 5 years on a situation and you get in front of a total stranger and you get some things that you never could get for 5 years. It's like, I call it the parent center. Parents come to me all the time. Man, Coach, you can say sit down, and they sit down. I can say sit down 300 times at home, and they won't. And I say, look, it's because they know you're gonna be there. They comfortable. They know you're gonna be there. Your mama, your daddy, you're gonna be there. They like, no matter what I do, you're gonna be there. But coach might tell me to go home and they'll never come back. Because that's what I do in my program. If you don't want it, you ain't gotta come. Because it's enough kids that need it Forget if they want it, they need it, and they will come and get it. So a lot of these young men don't understand, like when you have people like yourself and people like Coach, I can call y'all coaches because that's basically what y'all are. When you have people like that in your life, you have to really understand that those opportunities don't come, sometimes they only come once. My adopted parent, that was a, man, he's passed away now, that's my dad, period. He did all the daddy stuff, that's my dad, okay? And with that being said, like, they need to understand the importance of individuals like yourself. They need to understand that. And speaking on the dad story, I spoke this last time, and it's just something for these young men to use as motivation and whatever they want to use it for. But my dad, I met my dad at 19. And you heard all those accolades and all that stuff that I actually, was able to obtain. But I met my dad at 19, and when I met him, I had just played Maryland University and played my best game of my life. I mean, me and Julius Peppers, y'all know who that is. We started at defensive end together. We led the country in sacks. And we had a very good game, very good game. And with that being said, we were on TV, we were on ESPN, CNN, any news channel you can name. But long story short, I had about 10 tackles, 3 sacks, and on defense, if you pick a ball up and take it to the house, as that means touchdown, I picked one up, scoop and score as we call it, went 50 yards on a scoop and score. Man, it was a big day. When I was a freshman, that was a big day. As a freshman, I did that. And for some of y'all that don't understand sports, especially in the ACC and the big levels like that, that's really good as a freshman. So my dad, he knew that was a good day. So when I get to the dorm, I get a phone call from my dorm, in my dorm room. My roommate answered the phone. He said, man, some guy on the phone saying he your dad. Man, I don't have no dad. I got an adopted father, but I don't have a dad. So he's like, no, man, he said he your daddy. I was like, man, hang that phone up. And he was like, man, I'm gonna hang up. I was like, hang it up, because whoever that is playing. So he hung it up. My man called right back. And can you please put stuff on the phone, yada, 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 yada. I say, man, who is it again? He said, it's the same dude saying he your daddy. I'm like, man, you know my story, roommate. Cut it out. You know that's not real. Man, hang the phone up, hung it up again. Third time, it's my mom. Son, there's somebody trying to reach you. Yes, Mom, I heard it's a man that's saying he's my daddy. Why is he calling me? Look, hear the man out. That's what she said. Hear him out. He get on the phone, he start talking. Look, I knew you would, since you were in the, basically what he's saying, he's been following me since I was in like the 8th grade. I've been following you, I've been seeing your success, I'm really proud of you, yada, yada, yada. I think I'm your father. Okay, first of all, like somebody just said, you think. You making this phone call and 19 years later, you know. So when he's sitting there talking to me, I'm just basically like, I'm not hearing you. So my mom is on the 3-way. And she's like, Steph, you need to just let him, God don't like ugly. I mean, I'm getting the whole, she on one end giving me all this and that, and I'm in the middle, and I'm like, I don't want to hear that at all. I don't know what y'all had going on, but right now I'm not trying to hear this because this is not helping me where I am mentally today. But she was like, you gotta forgive him. I want you to give him a unit jersey, and I want you to do all this stuff for him. And I'm like, why should I do all this for him? And this is a good story for you young fellas, man. Long story short, I needed to do that because I had to free up a barrier that was holding me back. And I didn't realize it, young fellas. That barrier was holding me back from going to greatness. And that barrier was the hatred that I had for him. You understand what I'm saying? So whatever y'all dealing with or whoever you're dealing with in your life and you don't like what they're doing and you don't like the way they're living, just know that there's still opportunity for you to make it. In anything you want to do. And that's why I'm saying I gave you this card with a go hard effect, because you can take this home, you can put it in a frame, you can keep it. I put it on cardstock on purpose, just so you can frame it and put it up in your house. If you're having a hard day, if you're going through some things, you can look at it, you can read it, and you can say, what am I really here for? Am I here to be a bad guy, or am I here to be somebody? Because you want to be somebody at the end of the day. You really want to be somebody. And you don't want to be somebody that people look down on. You want to be somebody that people look like myself, bro. In my neighborhood, I'm the man. We got drug dealers, Bloods, Crips. Coach Steph come through, everything shut down. Man, Coach Steph, man, oh no, he don't play that. Oh, you about to hustle? Oh, bro, you better put that up, bro. Coach Steph, no, he ain't. And it's not because I follow. All my boys, they man, prison, all kind of stuff, man. My crew is real bad off. I visit the prison more for my homies than I do for speaking. And that's not good. And that's real talk, as y'all say. That's keeping it 1,000. Forget 100. You understand what I'm saying? And the thing I like about it is, and I'm gonna close out, I like it because I used to be the rag doll kid. That's what I want to get at. I used to be the ugly duckling. The kid that everybody picked on, high waters, lights get cut off, water cut off, sleeping foot to foot with my brother. He peeing on me, so we get up late because we getting ourselves up. I ain't got time to wash up, going to school smelling like halfway like pee. Everybody picking on me. It's real, little bro. It's real. And the unfortunate part, a lot of people don't like to speak about that. They act like they just woke up in that ride. You ain't just wake up in a ride. You went through some stuff now. So what I'm trying to tell y'all, little bro, going through that prepared me for now. I didn't want to accept it. I was like some of y'all. I used to sit back there in the back and don't even pay attention and think that this story don't pertain to me. I'm too good, man. We live in the suburbs. When I moved my adopted parents, see, I got that attitude. He in the suburbs. I got that little suburb attitude there. I forgot I was just in the hood. So I moved to the suburbs and I got the little suburb attitude. I ain't got to hear that. That don't pertain to me. Until one day somebody said, okay, if somebody gonna get somebody, why they gonna get somebody in the hood when they can go to the suburbs and get you? So you better wake up and start acting like you're too big for everything, because it runs down the line. And then as I went on, I ended up playing in the NFL. When I went on to the NFL, that same logic went in my mind. Man, you know what? A lot of people weren't there for me. They used to pick on me. I go back home and they're the same people that didn't want to talk to me. They want to ride with me and go to the party and go to my every function that I'm throwing. They want to be right up under me. Coach Steph, what can I do for you? But when I was down, couldn't find me. When I was hurt, I couldn't find me. But as soon as I big up, as we call it in my neighborhood, as soon as I get right, come up, all those good words that y'all young people say. When I came up, woo, they right there. I'm talking about, I'm right here. I got a line from here to that wall, everywhere I go. Everywhere. And the unfortunate part was, I didn't even realize that 75% of those people were meaning me harm. Leeches. And that's all I'm trying to tell y'all, man. I talk around. Sometimes when I talk, people's like, hey, you talk in a lot of different angles. I say, you know why? Because I got so much in my mind. I've been through so much. And when I see a kid or a person and I say, man, I feel you. You ain't even got to talk to me. I can just feel you. And when I can feel that, it's like, oh my goodness, man, I want to give you everything I got, but I only got 40 minutes. See what I'm saying? I only got 40 minutes. So at the end of the day, I have to give you this so you can always remember Coach Steph. Coach Steph, man, Raleigh, North Carolina, Coach Steph. He told me, go hard. Like I tell my kids, I know it's a cliche saying, but go home if you don't want to go hard. Go home, go hard, or go home. Simple as that. And for all of y'all that, even you adults, because I got some adult stories too now. I was a millionaire at 30. And I lost everything. Wife, money, 10 cars, $800,000 house. Man, you name it. seven locations, 60 employees, therapists, doctors. Y'all hear how I talk to them? They work for me. Therapists, doctors, all that. That little bitty boy that got peed on in the bed, now they working for me. But at the end of the day, that same little boy that had all that damaged goods in his body didn't know how to handle all that. So God, excuse me for anybody that, you know, got a little problem with the God thing, but that's my foundation. But God said, let me knock this joker down. Let me knock him down, because he big-headed. He think he got it going on, because I brought him from nothing to something. Now he taking it the whole wrong way. That's why I'm telling y'all, young fellas, stay engaged the right way. Because I was 30 when I became a millionaire, and I was 35 when it was taken. And the people that I said, that line went, it dispersed real quick. That line went, it became real short. From $4,000 at the club a night to, $20 for myself. I ain't have nobody no more, young fella. You get what I'm saying? They left. But that's why I told y'all earlier, make sure y'all pick your team right. That's why I asked you what makes you comfortable. Because if you know what makes you comfortable, you won't fall for the foolishness. Because there's a lot of foolishness out here waiting for y'all, especially today. And even you dads, the single dads that's in here, man, y'all doing something that's not normal. A lot of dads taking over and taking care of these young men when a mother or whatever situation goes wrong. To be that person to do that, and I can say that because my adopted parent was a single man. Bless you. He was a single man. And I know what it took for him. He sacrificed a lot as a single man. He sacrificed just me coming and staying with him. I know he had to make a serious decision like, all right, this kid, I don't know him. I don't know him from a can of paint, big bro. And he was like, man, should I keep this kid? Like I said, I wasn't 6'5" when he first met me. I was like 5'8". So it won't the sport. You know what I mean? But that's how God works. He did a good deed, and then God said, oh, let me throw this joker to 6'5". Now he looking like, uh-oh, we got something to work with. You understand what I'm saying? That's the adopted parent. Now he got all the glory that the real daddy should have got. Because he came in and he took me and he molded me and he taught me yes sir, no sir. He used to make me tuck my shirt in. That's why I'm kind of like I am now. He made me tuck my shirt into my chest. You know what I mean? So anyway, y'all, I'm sorry. Y'all see I'm sweating and everything, man. I just, when I get to going, man, and I just feel it, I don't really want to stop. But my man, Mr. John, he has some things for y'all also. Like I said, I'm thankful. This is not my normal, like I said, my crowd is normally a little different. So I normally do a lot of engaging type of activities. But when you can really reach your crowd sometimes, you really want to talk directly to some of the souls that really need it, especially when you can see it. You know what I mean? And today, that was those young fellas. And I appreciate y'all, everybody that's here today. I thank you all. I pray that y'all continue to, you know, keep uplifting these young people and working with these fathers, because we need them. Trust me, we need these fathers, man. We need them bad, man. We need them very bad. And I'm living proof. That's all I'm trying to tell y'all. Don't think that you're not important. Even you mothers, I mean, all these ladies in here too, everybody works together. But You dads, y'all are important, man. I'm telling you. Even if you're not a blood dad, it's still important. Like you guys rolling these young fellas. All right? You're very important, man. So.
Okay, I just thought it was very important that I share that with you. He was, we call him Coach McQueen. Stefan has been to the men's Young Fathers Central Florida Conference a couple of times, and if you had paid attention, that he has a great story, where he came from, what he was introduced at a very young age, adopted by someone who cared for him, instilled some good values, had a lot of stuff that he had dealt with from his mom, seeing what he saw at a very young age, went into the NFL, made money, lost it all, and now he's been doing this for a while, and would love to have him on Youth Central Sports. Would love to have Vince talk to him, but again, I'm going to try to have him on to get some Q&A. Actually, there was a Q&A session there that took place. They did have time for questions from the audience, but I just thought it was very important that you got a chance to hear his story. There's many like his story, but he's so very passionate, and every time I hear his story, it's like I never heard it before, because it is just so inspiring, and just to feel his energy and to know what he's about. So if you would like to find out more information, you can always contact me. You can email me if you would like to, or you can text me here, at this number as well. Wow. And again, he kind of touched on the surface a little about his life, his story, and what he's been through. You can text me if you would like to find out more information, if you would like to have him come speak, if you would just like to talk to him yourself. Again, I'm Charles Morris, where we come to you every Monday right here at www.thejourney2020.com. And again, coming off of the Labor Day weekend. Today is Labor Day. By the way, earlier in the show, I said that today I texted my brother and gave him a shout out to say happy birthday, and he texted me back. I texted him about maybe 9 o'clock this morning, and he just texted me back, said thank you. So it was good to hear back from my brother. Talked about my grandmother for a little while. Talked about the third Monday of every month with Dr. Kathy Meets. Talked about the fourth Monday of every month with Aki Nkrumah, who we just left Quincy with the conference up there with Young Fathers of Central Florida. He was, Coach McQueen was one of the keynotes, one of the speakers there. They had a total of 4 speakers. And I just thought that I would share his story with you here on the Journey 2020. I'm Charles Morris, and make sure that you like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube. We come your way every Monday. And if you would like to be on the show, if you have a show idea, questions, comments, concerns, you can text us there. Certainly would love to hear from you, yay or nay, doesn't matter. Also, you can email us. That's what we do in 2018. In addition with the text messages, so on and so forth. Because we come to you on Facebook, we come to you on Periscope, we come to you on Twitter, we come to you on YouTube. So all of that and some. So we come to you at www.thejourney2020.com. So all of that, here to share stories. As Dr. Robertson would say from back in the day when he used to do the show with me, the journey is from me to you and from you to me, so we can reach a higher level. And that's what it's about. I'm Charles Morris. And on this Labor Day weekend, happy that you had a chance to hang out with us. You make sure that you join us every Wednesday night for Youth Central Sports. We come your way 11 p.m. with the original Coach Carter at 11 p.m. at www.Youth Central Sports. As a matter of fact, let me see if I got this. Let me see if I have Youth Central Sports here. I think I do. Let me see if I can find it real fast, especially like any other time I would see it, right? And now that I'm looking for it, I don't see it. But I was going to play the promo for Youth Central Sports. I think here it is. Oh, okay. I think I got it. Hi, I'm Charles Morris.
I'm Coach Carter.
And we're bringing you something I think exciting, something fun, and that is Youth Central Sports.
We're talking sports, all across the board, any sport, every sport. You need to come join us. We'd love to get your input. Share your thoughts with us. Let us discuss a topic you might be interested in. You just listen to us just ramble on about this one thing that we love. That's sports.
That's Youth Central Sports. You'll be able to check it out at youthcentralconnection.com. All right, you make sure that you tune in every Wednesday night right here, right at www.youthcentralsports.com. We're happy to take your questions and your comments as well. Well, I'm Charles Morris. Hope you had a safe weekend. Make sure that you have, each week, there should be some addition to your prayer list. That's very, very important. Make sure that you ask questions so you can put people on the prayer list for their concerns, because I know you have a prayer list. If you're on this earth and if you're breathing, you got to have a prayer list. Trust me, that I know for a fact. With that being said, oh man, I was wanting to go fishing today, but I couldn't because of the weather. I might be able to make it out tomorrow. I usually go fishing every Labor Day. New Smyrna, Daytona Beach, Cocoa Beach, Titusville, somewhere. But I might be able to make it tomorrow. Blessings to you and yours. Thank you. I'm Charles Morris, and you be blessed. This is The Journey 2020. The Journey 2020.